Ever thought about the fact that we came really close to living in a world where Toy Story 2 was just a throwaway sequel released on DVD? Well, you gotta thank the gods for this one, chat, because I cannot imagine myself not having grown up with these movies. I'm thankful that Pixar changed their mind so late during production and did not make a throwaway DVD sequel out of this one. And now it's time to start this third episode of ranking every Pixar movie ever made, with today's movie being, as you already know, Toy Story 2, a movie released in 1999, so almost 27 years ago. If you're new to this channel, hi, welcome! And if you want to support this small channel of mine, please consider subscribing to it. Now, enough yapping said, let's go over Toy Story 2. And don't forget that this entire video is subjective and that you have the right to have your own opinion. So, Toy Story 2 starts off with Buzz Lightyear entering a planet as some kind of meteorite. When landing, he gets circled by a number of unfriendly robots equivalent to the population of India, and after somehow defeating them all, he infiltrates a secret underground base belonging to a copycat of Darth Vader, the evil Emperor Zurg. Inside the base, he confronts Zurg, then fights him, and dies because of a stupid move he made. Well, actually, it was all fake, because it was just Rex playing a Buzz Lightyear video game in Andy's room. I think Rex wouldn't survive a Dark Souls games with skills like these. Then, in Andy's room, the toy gang gets attacked by a dangerous creature, Andy's dog named Buster. But all Buster wants to do is lick Woody's face. Then, we learn that Andy is preparing himself to go to a cowboy camp for a few days and wants to bring Woody with him. The problem is, he ripped Woody's arm by accident while playing with him, so he went to the camp without him. But something worse happened. Woody has been shelved by Andy's mother, which kind of means that he has been abandoned and left to die on a shelf. So, while being left there on the shelf, Woody has nightmares about being abandoned by Andy, and he even crosses paths with Wheezy, an old toy that also has been shelved a long time ago because his squeaker broke. That day, Andy's mom organized a yard sale, and she took Wheezy from the shelf to potentially sell him there. Woody, feeling like Superman that day, decided to go save Wheezy with the help of Buster, but instead gets stolen by a weird old man that turned out to be Al from All Storeborn. A man that doesn't just disguise himself as a chicken every day, but also collects old toys. Turns out, Woody is a piece of collection that Al has been looking for a very long time now, which explains why he stole him from Andy's mom's yard sale. That slick bastard. At Al's apartment, Woody meets Jessie, Bullseye, and Stinky Pete, who also are pieces of a collection related to Woody, because they were all part of an old TV show called Woody's Roundup. And so, when Woody discovered that, he developed a main character syndrome and realized his full potential. He discovers how important he is to the eyes of these fellas, which puts him into a dilemma. Either he stays with them and would be put in a museum in Tokyo alongside this gang, or either he goes back to Andy's house and lives like he used to, but probably on a shelf. His choice at first was to go back to Andy's house, so he tried to leave Al's place through a land of Cheetos, but got caught by Al when he suddenly woke up because someone activated his television. Then he places Woody back in his glass cabinet, and when seeing the TV remote in front of Jessie's cabinet, Woody blames her for sabotaging him, but she says that she doesn't know who did it, which I honestly have a hard time believing. During that time, Andy's toys came up with a plan to go save Woody, and as you can see, that plan ain't 100% safe. They then enter Alt's toy barn and search for Woody through alleys. But what they don't know is that he isn't there. Instead, he's in Alt's apartment getting a great cleanup session. So, Buzz finds an alley unrealistically full of Buzz Lightyear figurines and starts a fight with one of them. In another alley, the rest of the toy gang find a bunch of Barbies having a party. And so after staring at them for an awkward period of time, they meet Buzz in his alley. But turns out, it's not their usual Buzz friend. It's the one that Buzz had a fight with. And turns out, the real Buzz lost the fight and was imprisoned in a box forever. The toy gang then finds Woody's location and goes after him without noticing that Buzz now acts weird. Like, isn't it obvious, LMAO? Anyways, during that time, Jessie tells Woody one of the saddest stories of all time, and we learn more about her background story. At the same time, the toy gang gets into the building where Al lives and takes the elevator in the most dangerous way ever. when they finally get into Al's apartment in a totally subtle way. Many plot twists happened at the same time for some reason. First, both Buzz Lightyears get into a fight in front of everyone. Then, when trying to leave, Woody gets stopped by Stinky Pete because he really wanted to go to Tokyo. And so, that makes him the plot twist villain of Toy Story 2. Who would have seen that coming? Then, back in the elevator, Emperor Zurg appears and recreates with the fake Buzz the famous Darth Vader scene where he tells Luke that he's his father. And so, after all these crazy moments, the toy gang decides to go retrieve Woody from the airport. How will they get there, would you ask? Well, they committed a Grand Theft Auto. And so, at the airport, they find Woody and fight off Stinky Pete with camera flashes, like if he is Tobey Maguire or something. But it's too late to save Jessie, because she's getting carried away to a plane. Or so they thought, because in a surprising turn of events, Woody, Buzz, and Bullseye run to her rescue and get to the plane. Woody then recreates some kind of Mission Impossible scene and saves Jessie at last. Finally, back at Andy's house, all of the toys dance together and live happily ever after. And so, that was a summary of the movie. Now, what did I think of it? Well, I think it's an overall fun movie with a great mix of humor, action, and emotions. The story is pretty similar to the first movie, but more constructed, with new stakes and a new environment. The new characters were also a great addition. I love Jessie and Bullseye. No, not you, Stinky Pete. And Woody's journey was pretty interesting. I like the dilemma it created for him. It made his character more interesting and added a lot of emotion to this movie, especially with the discussion about Jessie's backstory. And his relationship with all the toys was the heart of the movie. And even though I don't think this movie is perfect, I still find it pretty entertaining. It has some slower parts, but its action sequences compensate for it and make an overall fine pacing. For me, the best part of the movie is not its story, it's its characters. Throughout the entire movie, the characters' relationships are what's motivating everything to happen and every decision taken. Everyone loves Woody, so they want to bring him back to Andy's place and move heaven and earth for him. Mostly, the usage of the characters is great in this movie, but where I think it misses is when it comes to its antagonists. Al and Stinky Pete are not the best villains of the franchise in my opinion. On the one hand, we have Al, who's such a goofy character, almost not menacing if it wasn't for the fact that he's human. And on the other hand, we have Stinky Pete, whose plot twist reveal came so suddenly at the end and didn't really impact the overall movie except for the ending. And so overall, I think this movie introduced memorable protagonists but forgettable villains. The animation improved, which is awesome, and the music is still as good as in the first movie. The story is not mind-blowing, but it's enjoyable, and its humor is really good, I'll give it that. I prefer this one to the original one, but for some reason, this movie overall was less memorable for me than the first one. It might be because of some of its slower parts or its overall impact on me as a kid, but as I grew up, I found this movie to be less memorable for me. And now, as an adult, I like it more than I did when I was a kid, but I still have a hard time trying to place it in A tier. I want to do it, but my inner voice tells me to put it in B tier, so I'll put it in B tier. I don't think this movie was excellent, but it was solid and fun. And with all that said, that concludes this third episode of ranking every Pixar movie. Next time we'll go over Monsters Inc., which I haven't seen for a long time, so I'm pretty excited to rediscover it. If you don't want to miss out on this next episode, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell button to get notifications whenever I upload. If you enjoyed or hated this video, make sure to leave a like or a dislike. I send you guys all my love and hope to see you in the next one. See y'all!